Welcome to Compton Shenanigans. Today is going to be day one, or the first ever Plywood Challenge. Plywood Challenge is where I buy a sheet of plywood, and then I make a piece of furniture for the house, or to sell, or to give away. One sheet of plywood. I can't use more wood than one sheet, and I can't have anything left over but sawdust. So I decided to take it easy on myself this time. First one, toy shelf, bookshelf. Should be easy. Square object, plywood. With that, let's go over what the plans are. As you can see in other designs, such as this first one, which was good, but I still had a small piece of plywood not being used. And I figured, okay, I'll just make a little signature. It'll be fine. I went with design number 2 here, and then realized pretty early on that I wasn't going to get 2 sides out of that. And I thought really hard about how I want to make this, how strong I want to make it. So it's not going to have a back. And as you can see in the approved design, it's got 2 sides, which are the 2 outermost pieces. It's got 4 shelves on the inside. Now these are 3-foot shelves because I decided 3 foot was going to be better. Won't take up as much room. And you can see here that I only have this much by this much height and width limit. I have a cutting order that I made. Cutting order is, first cut is to cut 2 feet off of the plywood out of the back of the truck. Second cut is to cut the 4 foot wide by now 6 foot long piece in half. Then I have I pretty much have 3 pieces. I have 2 6 foot by 2 foot pieces and 1 2 foot by 4 foot piece. And out of those, I'll be using the table saw to cut everything else. So to start with, I'm going to grab that rip saw and I'm going to measure a couple times and cut about as straight as I possibly can. These 2 cuts matter the most. I have nothing to spare. Let's get out to the truck and get started. Make it work! It all gets started with measuring some stuff. Okay, as you can see, I put a line and a couple of dots, got kind of off there, at 2 foot all the way across. I'm going to use this rake jig to try to cut this about as straight as I possibly can with it hanging off the back of the truck. I'm going to use, if that's 2 foot on the dot when I get cut, I'm going to use it to cut that strip too off the picnic table. So, stay tuned. Over front! Making these 2 foot cuts now with the saw. Make sure you get something to prop under that board. There we go. After this cut, I'm going to bring out the table saw. And we're going to proceed to cut these pieces in half. Once I can find the half. Check it. Not quite there. Check it. Not quite there. Send it. Close enough. One's 12 and one's 11 and 7/8. We'll just have to live with that. Next up is to cut the 2 inside most 6 foot by 1 foot pieces into 4 total 3 foot shelves. And I have to measure them out and center them because they're not going to be exactly 3 foot, but every shelf does have to be exactly the same width. very last cut, the last two cuts, the bottom of the page, if you remember, there were special lines drawn in them. Those are going to be the shelf supports, cut out of a 12 by 12 piece of sheet of plywood. For the last two, I get 5 out of each board. And the last two I'm not cutting because those are going to be used for the support. Right here, I'm cutting 1 inch off of every single piece that I cut in order to make the face frame more known. When it is, in order to make the piece look a little more fit. Okay, so that took like an awfully long time, but we got them all cut. So this is the top and bottom with its face frame. These are the 4 shelves with their face frames. These are the 2 sides with their face frames. And then I have shelf hangers for shelves 1 through 4. Top and the bottom do not get supports. That's 3. Shelf 1, shelf apparently 1, whatever, 1 and 2, shelf cleats there. All right, and the wall cleat. This is going to be in a kid's room. It's going to secure to frame and then to the back of the shelf, prevent it from being able to tip. So safety. Yeah. Alright, that, my friends, is one entire piece of plywood. Not one piece left, not one piece left on the ground, nothing but sawdust. So right now, feeling pretty good about this one. We're going to go ahead and do some pocket holes in these to get the face frames mounted up. We'll get them measured out, equal distance, and start getting these things put together so we can get it painted. Welcome back. It's the next day. First thing we want to do before we do any project, make sure we have enough space. This is where that shelf's going to go. From the wall to the closet, we're safe at about 45 inches. Want it to be about the height of this. At most. That makes about 72 inches. So, 45 by 72. The depth of it, this fireplace is about 11 5/8 deep. But if we measure it from the wall to the edge, it's about 12 inches deep. So we don't want to exceed 12 inches deep. Being that it's going to be a narrow cabinet and tall, we're going to want to make some sort of cleat to hold it up against the wall. Put it in one of these studs. This thing was glued and allowed to rest overnight and dry. So today is sanding and painting. Yeah, this took a lot longer than I thought. I was able to use all the pieces. You can see, oh, yes, you can't see. Let's see this one here. And then I got another one up here. These are kind of braces for the top, taking some weight. They're just glued in, but every single piece of the sheet of plywood got used. So it is a successful project. And stay tuned for the next couple. I got plans for single sheets of plywood. This sheet of plywood costs $30. Okay, so this entire shelf, $30. Now, I did use screws. I had them sitting around though, and I did use paint, but I got paint sitting around from past projects all over the place. So it's going to be painted, yeah, pretty much from between spray paint and other paints I got laying around. It's just going to get decorated up. It's just a toy shelf. It's meant to be fun, so we're just going to kind of do whatever with it. And yeah, this might be in a future video in the background somewhere. You might see it. But anyway, we're going to sand it, paint it, get it into the house. That's pretty much it for this video. It took a long time to make this, longer than I thought. Most of the time wasn't walking back and forth finding tools like it normally is. So like, subscribe, share, donate to the Patreon so we can do more of these projects. Thanks to the Patreons that I do have who allowed this project to happen. You guys are awesome. So with that, everybody have a great day. And I'm going to get back to it. I got other stuff to do. See ya.